welcome to the No Camps Podcast. I'm Sonny G.
And I'm Akash.
I'm Jason.
And in today's episode, we'll be talking about what we've been watching.
That's a pretty good description.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Sonny, Jason, how much do you guys love Star Wars?
Are we talking about pre or post Disney acquisition and Force Awakens?
You know what? Why don't you give me your viewpoints on both? I'm curious.
Well, in a nutshell, my relationship to Star Wars is that it was originally the thing that all my white friends had watched that I was like, oh yeah, I kind of know of that thing. Why are you guys so obsessed with this?
Yeah.
And I honestly don't remember how I got to really, really, really enjoy Star Wars, but maybe it happened after Episode 1 or Episode 2. I think it had, like, really solidified around Episode 2 when it first came out in theaters. And how old were we then? Like 7th or 8th grade or something, right?
Grade.
10 or
Yeah.
11?
Well, yeah, Episode 1, I guess, yeah, we were almost like elementary school, early middle school. Anyways, long story short, that's when I got obsessed with Star Wars, and I actually, in retrospect, kind of enjoy the prequels, like, for what they are.
Right.
As just being, like, really weird, shitty explorations into new territory and new lore. And then got quite disappointed with Force Awakens and really like Rogue One. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
To your point, it's always fun when a franchise tries to expand on its universe, right? That's what's really appealing about episodes 1 through 3. So.
Yeah, it's like it's right now, because it's almost like Episode 1 set the bar for why people should be skeptical of recreating or revisiting a universe, right? Like, they are the cardinal reason why people are worried about a new Blade Runner,
right,
or why people are worried about a remake for it,
right,
or in any of these series that they're trying to reboot. With the second place going to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
which I think South Park nailed.
Yeah. Totally.
On the
they were reading everybody's mind when they.
So before I jump to Jason, can you tell me a quick, I guess, why do you not like The Force Awakens?
Felt derivative.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing for the new Star Trek movie reboot to, like, harken back to some of the plot elements, I guess, or like plot beats. Like, you had a guy in the Midwest whose dad is someone big in this, industry, and then he's like almost destined to become a part of that culture. When Star Trek does it, it's like unfortunate, but when Star Wars does it for Star Wars, it's sad. It's heartbreaking.
So, Jason, give us your thoughts on the Star Wars movie / universe.
Well, I'm a fan. I love the original trilogy the best. I guess because all of us kind of watched it when we were kids, or before the original, or before the prequels trilogy. I kind of like them each for their own, like, unique way. Each trilogy. I'm a fan of the prequels as well. I mean, I kind of like the action and stuff in the prequels. I like the stories and then the original, and I just kind of like the direction we're going here. So I like Force Awakens too. It was a little cheesy, and even just after a year, it's a little bit. It feels a lot more cheesy than it was. Like, I was a lot more enthusiastic about it when it came out in the theaters. But no, I'm excited for it, or I'm excited for what's next.
Yeah, and I would say I agree with most, if not everything y'all said. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Episode 3, which I think is a lot of fun. And obviously, I hate Episode 2, I think, as everyone else does. But my thoughts are pretty much in line with both of you guys as well. But for the listeners who are listening, must be wondering, why the fuck are we rambling on and on about the Star Wars movies? Well, I wanted to segue in to the new Star Wars, The Last Jedi trailer, which just dropped this week. And I really loved it, and I'd like to know what you guys thought as well.
Looks like it's going to be sick.
So sick.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I mean, they know how to market, man. It's Disney. They know how to make it look amazing.
Yeah. Do you guys think the trailer showed a little bit too much?
No. I still don't have any idea what's going on, but okay. I do have a lot more confidence that it's not going to be as much of what we've seen before. It is going to be something actually new. Like I think we're going to learn a lot more about some of these characters and
I hope so.
get to actually enrich the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to potentially be a lot darker too, which I'm down for as well. So they're kind of doing their own the empire of this trilogy.
Yeah. And I mean, as like any bit of Star Wars news come out, there's already like 50,000 YouTube videos analyzing every screen of the trailer. And I'm guilty of actually watching some of those. And if some of those predictions do come true, we're in for a really nice treat with this movie. So,
what are some of the predictions?
Just kind of revealing who or predicting who they actually think Snoke, right?
Snoke.
Yeah.
Snoke is. More of what Luke has probably done in the past. Essentially trying to tie in some of the scenes as to what has happened in, I guess, the lore outside of the movies based on the books and etc. So a quick little tidbit here. Rian Johnson, as you guys may know, who directed Looper and some of our favorite episodes of Breaking Bad, is directing this new Star Wars movie. And he's been on record of stating that he's actually a huge fan of the first 3 movies. So I hope he learns from the mistakes. I mean, when I say first 3, I mean episodes 1 through 3.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully he learns from one of those mistakes, and I don't know. This will hopefully be a tighter movie and not so derivative as its predecessors. So I'm really excited for this, and I can't wait. And I think you guys are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really trying to avoid like what you're doing, reading a bunch into it, because like I just want to be surprised. I want to go in not having any like preconceived notion of what's going to happen or what should happen. I just kind of want to see it and take it as it comes,
Yeah, I think I've set myself up for only disappointment at this point. So if there's anything I've seen, I'm gonna hate it.
What are you doing? Yeah.
All right, guys. So I guess we can all say we're excited to see the new Star Wars movie, and it can't come soon enough. So I want to move on and talk about Curb Your Enthusiasm and season 9. The long-awaited season 9 just kicked off. And Jason, I know you're not really watching Curb, but have you seen Curb at all previously? Or?
Yeah. I mean, I never really watched it like, in sequential order. I always bounced around episodes, which is what I kind of love about that show, is you really don't need to come in at any particular time. It's kind of, the humor is universally applicable. So, but no, I really love, dude, Larry David's just he's so funny, just that attitude is so funny. So yeah, no, I mean, I've been wanting to watch it. You guys been watching it?
Yeah. First 2 episodes are out.
Yeah, first 2 episodes.
Third one should be out today, right?
Yeah, it's coming out tonight. What do you think, Sonny?
The funny thing is that it doesn't feel like it's missed a beat. It does feel like natural Curb. One of my issues with it so far is that it feels like it feels almost like a low budget but attempted to be high budget remake of Curb with the same people in it, but true. They're like parodying Curb.
Right.
So yeah. So what the biggest thing you'll notice immediately is that it feels way more well lit, and it's weird. One of the best parts about that show, the best parts about like The Office, is that you don't know that you're. It's hard to get unimmersed in that environment, right? In the fiction of the story. But when it looks as artificial as it does in season 9, you kind of get taken out. So yeah, I think in a lot of cases, the dialogue, the humor is just as good as it's always been. But because it looks fake, it's not as funny to me.
Have you, Sonny, have you seen Trailer Park Boys by chance?
Yeah, I saw like the first 5 or 6 seasons, maybe.
Okay, just curious because it's the exact same way that I feel about that show. Like in the later seasons, it was like that show was supposed to be kind of filmed with a hand camera, and then once they like upped the quality and the picture got really clear and the colors were clear, it was like it kind of got rid of that like initial in Trailer Park Boys, the trashiness that made it so funny. So when it looked like refined, the trashy humor doesn't really like cross over. Yeah,
you can't watch Trailer Park Boys in 4K.
Yeah, exactly.
Goofy, yeah. And it's the same thing here. It's the same thing to a lesser degree, right? Like the show's kind of defined by that grainy, like late '90s handycam feel.
Yeah.
Despite it all having taken place like in the 2000s, right, and later. But when it looks as good as it does, like quote unquote as good,
Right.
like the shadows are sharper, all the colors are brighter, there's more pixels, like it's literally filmed in HD, and then it's in some ways a little bit more cinematic too. Like they have this kind of recurring like craning shot, but it's like too artificial for the show again.
Right.
To restate that point.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you. Like, it's been a 6-year gap between season 8 and season 9.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's been
So
6
crazy.
years.
And like you said, in terms of humor and what the show is, it hasn't missed a beat. Larry jumps right back into the same universe with the same petty issues, and to me it's hilarious, and I'll continue watching it.
Definitely.
And don't have that too many nits to pick with it, and it's a classic, and I think it'll continue to be that. I mean, I don't know if people are expecting anything more or anything less from Curb, but I think you got what you waited 6 years for. So
Yeah.
it's a good TV show, and I think Jason, you're gonna definitely watch this, right?
Yeah. But it's one of the shows that I kind of just want to binge through, so I
Yeah.
don't mind waiting a little bit longer so I can just watch it all.
All right, you waited 6 years. What's another?
Yeah.
5, 6 years?
I'll wait another couple months.
So, moving on, I want to wrap up our discussion from last week, Sonny. We started talking a little bit about American Vandal. You pitched it to me, and I had mentioned to you I was just starting episode 3, and I finished it. And so, let me tell you, the show's good. It's great. It's freaking funny. But it started to lose me towards the end of the season, or the end of the series, or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
It started relying too much on the drama, I guess, and it took me out of the whole documentary-esque feel that it had, and really tried to like connect with the characters and do things I think it had originally not set itself up to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you felt like it. I'm curious that you said it didn't feel natural, because the whole shtick was that it's kids
Right.
filming themselves filming a documentary, right?
Right.
But what they're filming of them filming the documentary is also part of the documentary.
Right.
So when they start analyzing drama like that they're going through because other people are now watching their documentary,
Right.
you felt like that
it felt a little bit soap opera-ish, you
Hmm.
know. I mean, but that's, again, I don't know if it's brilliant for the show, but that's high school, right?
Yeah.
It encapsulates what high school is so well, and it's just all this petty little things: who hooked up with who said what behind whose back, and all that kind of stuff. And I think as a piece of art, or film that captures what it is like to be in high school, I think it nails it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked a little bit last time, but like some of the characters, like what's his name, the kid who catches Dylan spray painting, Andy, what's his name, Alex,
the
that
redhead
guy's redhead, such an annoying character, and like completely nailed that guy. Like someone like that in high school, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the show was great, and I felt like it definitely left us up open for season 2. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't answer the question that it starts off the show with. It gives us an answer, but not a definite one.
Yeah.
And that kind of bothered me too. I was like, some shows, should try to tell the full story, then try to milk another season, because
Yeah, that's true.
most
agree with
chances it's not going to be a good second season, because they captured the magic, right, the first couple episodes of what the show is. And personally, I don't know if I'd be able to watch another 8 episodes of a season 2 of something like this, because I've seen what I want from this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was something charming about it, something really new that it brings that we haven't really seen, like satirizing documentaries, because it's like we're in an age of documentary, especially on Netflix. We've been pumping them out left and right. So I still think, Jason, I know you still haven't watched it, but I still think it's a good watch for you, and love to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, no, I still want to watch it. But also I want to say too, if you like the idea of like satirizing documentaries, you should watch Documentary Now.
Oh yeah,
It's with Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, and I think Seth Meyers even writes on it. But they basically just take like famous documentaries, and then they just do like spoofs of them, and they're pretty hilarious. And like my personal favorite in the second season, they had Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
yeah.
They did Juan Loves Chicken and Rice. and it's the most ridiculous. So check that out too. If that's kind of like the kind of humor that you like, or if you're kind of tired of documentaries, yeah, you should check that series out too.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. I remember you showing me the clip from that other episode where they're making fun of a 60s or 70s band. What is it?
Oh yeah,
remember?
Catalina. The song was called Catalina Breeze. Yeah, that song. Yeah, the Blue Jean Committee. Yeah, they do like a 2-part like mockumentary from those rockumentaries. Like those is basically like the Eagles or those kind of bands. Yeah, it's hilarious, and the level of detail that they can go into, like to actually like mimic like the style that those documentaries were filmed in, is pretty incredible. It's hilarious.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely will have. Is it on Netflix? Did you say it was on Netflix?
I don't know if it's on. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah,
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
What? Okay.
Yeah, definitely put that on my to-watch list and report that back to you.
Is that
Okay.
it? Is that all we watched?
No, I want to talk about Blade Runner.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So this past week, I had the opportunity to watch Blade Runner 2049. Mind you, I also did watch the original Blade Runner. It took me 3 attempts. First attempt, I fell asleep. Second attempt, I fell asleep. The third attempt, I made it through. And it was worth it, guys. It was so good.
Wait, so did the movie put you to sleep, or was it just late at night when you were watching it?
I think there's multiple reasons. Probably because it's late at night. Major reason. And I don't know if I was probably just too tired. So I don't know. This movie is really interesting. It's hard to talk about it without spoilers. It's a movie that embellishes an ambiguity. It leaves a lot for the viewer to make their decision and conclusions on. I mean, it's crazy because this movie has had like 5 or 6 cuts. It was released, I think, like in 1982, and then had a series of cuts, and then a final cut came out in 2007, which is what Ridley Scott had envisioned it to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much emotion in the original movie, and it rides on those emotions, and it makes you feel a certain way and makes you think about certain subjects that I don't think any other movie really has done. And Blade Runner 2049 does that just as well. Denis Villeneuve, who directed this movie, has a really beautiful filmmaking style. He really sucks you into the universe. He builds upon what Ridley Scott built, but with the CGI where it is now, he really is able to like let us live in this universe. And the score is done with Hans Zimmer, and it just really pulls you in, and it's another emotional gut punch, and it's a freaking good movie, and I highly recommend you guys both watch it. I really don't want to discuss much more without it because it's one of those movies you need to go in without any spoilers. But safe to say it is a direct sequel to the original Blade Runner, and it does a beautiful job of it. So love for you guys to check it out, and I think we should do a reboot and remake episode on that movie. Totally. There's a lot to dive in and a lot to discuss. There's been a lot of stuff I've been reading online that's been kind of satiating, is that right? Sating?
I think.
Sating my my need to like read and discuss that film. So love for you guys to check it out, and we can check back in with our listeners and see or give them our thoughts on that movie.
Do you guys watch Attack on Titan?
Yes. Yeah. I've seen season 1. I'm about like 4 or 5 episodes into season 2.
Cool. So, same here. I'm about there.
What do you think about season 1?
It's like a really good premise, but
Agreed.
it does what Dragon Ball Z, the original run, did, where they just take too fucking long to do anything, and they're overly dramatic about everything.
They treat the audience like they're stupid. They they show us what happens, and then they recap it with a narrator. Yeah, no, I just watched that. I know what happened. Yeah. And that's how they put in like a 25-minute episode. The first 12 minutes is showing us what happened. The second 12 minutes is just reiterating that exact thing that happened. So it's really hard to watch that show because my attention span that goes in and out.
Yeah.
Not to mention you have to read subtitles when you're watching.
Exactly. So you can't really miss anything. You just have to watch them just fucking whine and repeat themselves.
Right.
One of the tenets of filmmaking is to show, don't tell.
Right.
And they show once, tell twice, and then show again, just in case you missed, the first 2 times. That's how bad they are in this, right. and in general in anime. But this is, I think, like one of the significantly worse offenders.
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
I'm on the same boat with you there.
Having said that, season 2 looks great. It's great so far.
Yeah, there's some big twists that show up early into the season which keep you going. Yeah. But again, it's hard to just watch something that requires so much of my attention right now because it's to sit there and read. I mean, I'm not giving myself an excuse, but it does take a lot of. I don't have the free time to just sit and focus on a TV show if it's not for something like this podcast. So.
True.
Yeah.
Have you guys been watching South Park?
Have not.
South Park has been decent. The last episode, though, I think was pretty great. They make fun of Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
And have you guys ever watched Mark Zuckerberg's interviews?
I need to start watching them more. Give us
no, you don't.
Gist. Okay.
You don't. What I mean is when you watch his interviews, his demeanor, it is robotic. When people have conspiracy theories that there are lizard people that run society, they think of Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, I'm telling you, the way he talks is so robotic sometimes. It's really funny, and they make fun of that in this episode, where to the point where his cartoon figure is like his lips aren't synced with the audio that's coming out of his mouth. It's so really
clever
good
with the way they satirize stuff, man. Yeah. I definitely need to jump back into South Park.
That you should.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this season gets better though. The first 3 episodes were okay.
Okay.
But they keep playing on Cartman and the relationship between Cartman and his girlfriend, and he just every time she's around, he's like all sad and he's bummed out and he has no energy, and just immediately annoyed with her.
I'm curious as to when South Park's run will finally end. Because this show's been going on for 20 plus seasons, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're on the 21st, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling like it's this last season and this season have kind of gone off the rails.
Off the rails in what sense?
Well, in the sense that they don't make sense. They're not as coherent and not as what it seems like fully thought out as they used to be. So I don't know. We might be seeing the end within the next couple seasons.
You think that no matter where you sit on the political spectrum, right? There's so much material there right now because most of the episodes are done on a week-to-week basis, and they pull in the latest current events. It seems like the content would be endless, and these guys are geniuses. I don't know how they come up with their premises every single week.
Yeah,
it's actually brilliant.
I think I don't know. In their defense, they've covered a lot. Yeah. They've done a lot of different episodes on a lot of different topics, and they've taken a lot of different perspectives on all of those topics.
Yeah.
And they've already made fun of so many people. So you almost have to count down who have they not made fun of yet? That would be worth satirizing in an episode.
Right. That's an easier list to keep track of, right?
Yeah.
For them.
Awesome. But that's what I've been watching lately.
Great. Yeah, I have nothing much else to add. I'm still continuing to watch the shows that we discussed last time, and if I do stumble upon anything nice, make sure to bring that up in the next episode. Anything else, Jason? You've been awfully quiet over there.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Tune in next week. We'll be discussing the Spider-Man movies.
Reboots and remakes, episode number 2.
Yeah. It's going to be great. The new Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out, so we thought, why not sit down and watch the first movies in all 3 of, I guess, the 2 reboots and the original. So
Yeah.
we'll be talking about that next time. So, all right, Sonny. Are you going to shout out your Twitter this time or no?
No.
All right, guys. Catch us at
one day.
nocamspodcast.podite.co and at Twitter at nocamspodcast. I'm Akash,
I'm Sonny.
I'm Jason.
and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Peace.